All right, how are we going, everyone? Learning from home. We're asking most of the art students in the practical classes to keep one of these things, which is on my screen now, which is a Jamboard. And you've each got a page. And in my Jamboards, I've got a page on the class Jamboard where I do my version of the work I'm asking you to do. So in Year 11, this is the Year 11 one, and we're doing drawing an everyday object. So I've been drawing a picture of this old, I'm basing all my work on this old vintage camera. It doesn't work anymore. So anyway, there we go. And you'll see here I've started doing a drawing because what we want to see on the Jamboard is not the finished drawing. We'd like to see, steps 1, 2, and 3 along the way. Take a few photos as you go and just put them as little thumbnails down the side of your Jamboard page. Now, at the moment, you would have seen here I wrote biro drawing underway, and I had this actually quite big because that's all I had at the time. So last lesson, I just wanted to show my teacher the evidence of what I've been doing. And there's my drawing, half done. Okay. And then the end of the lesson, just like school, you have to pack up and you have to jump into maths or English or whatever it is. You haven't finished a drawing and you wouldn't at school. So we won't at home unless you want to sit up at night and finish it off, which definitely I recommend. Okay. So I've now finished that drawing. Okay. Uh-oh. So camera's doing some funny things. So I've now finished that drawing and I want to post it up onto the Jamboard as the finished work so that bit of the task is done. Okay, so the issue is that it doesn't see how they look a bit brown? And the other thing is when you take a photo of your work, and I'll just move me over here. Can you see this shadow here? So the shadow's from the fact that you've got a light source there. See the window? So, and you'll see that there's light running down the side of my head, okay, on one side, and on the other side's in shadow. And so what that's done is, because I laid my drawing down and then took a photo, what I got was this shadow over the top of the photo. So the first thing you might want to do is try and correct as much as you can at the time when you photograph it. So go find a spot in the house where you've got lots of light sources, not just one. So at the moment, I've only got one coming through the backwards camera. The only thing I got is the light source through the window. Okay. So what you need a room where you've got a light coming through the window. You've got a couple of roof lights on. You've got light coming through the door. You need some opposing light sources because what they do is they cancel out the shadows for this. So go find a good spot in the house, take a photo, look at it on your phone, zoom in, check it out, make sure you don't have these shadow issues. The other way to get away from the shadow is to move out to the side. So you hold your camera like this and you move across, and you might even have to angle it a little bit. What we want to do now is you could post this up, but it looks a bit ordinary. So it's gone a bit brown. We all know paper's not brown. I'm drawing on a white paper. We want it to go from this to that, which I'm sure you would agree looks much better. How I recommend you do it is you use Photoshop. Upload your photo onto your machine and go and open the photo. All right, now the first thing I want to do is I want to crop it. So we go and get the marquee tool and we drag across and we crop the drawing down. Okay, get rid of all the stuff around the edge, get rid of the background, get rid of the picture of your desk or the carpet because you had it on the ground, all that sort of stuff, right? And just go image. We call these crawling ants. And we go image, crop. Now, for some reason, if it's not working, your background is locked, right? Your picture is locked. So sometimes it will, sometimes it won't work. So one of the solutions is if it's not working, if it says you can't do this because it's locked, you double click on the background and turn it back into a layer. Job done. Okay? All right. Now, straight away, we've cropped it down. Perfect. Next thing I want to do is I want to reduce the size of the photo. So what we do is we go image size. Now, at the moment, it'll probably show up as pixels. 6,000 pixels is, what does that mean? Well, turn it to something that you can make sense of, centimeters. 200 centimeters wide, that is way, way, way too big, all right? The original is, 20 centimeters wide. So bring it down to something, make sure you've got this locked. So this little chain link here, make sure you lock the proportions. So you can turn everything on and off, so make sure you lock it. and bring it down to about, I don't know, 15 centimeters wide. And that will bring the top down as well. If this warps, you haven't got that chain locked. Just cancel, start again. And then now the edge of the page is in centimeters because we're in Australia and we use metric measurement like most of the world. But Photoshop's made in the US, so the resolution on the inside of it is pixels per inch. Don't change it to centimeters. Leave it as pixels per inch, okay? And change that to 300, okay? And you'll notice immediately we get a zoom. So your phones shoot in 72 pixels per inch, but we print or we display things at 300 pixels per inch if it's an artwork with something that we want to make it look good. I'm going to hit OK. And now I need to zoom in. So zoom in is Control plus. And zoom out is Control minus. Now the first thing I want to fix is I want to see if I can fix the contrast. So I go Image, Adjustments, and I go Brightness and Contrast. I'm going to bring the brightness up. That might fix the problem. The problem is it's made some of this blue here a bit pale. So what I want to do is I want to bring the contrast up as well. Now it's not having a huge effect. And in fact, if we zoom in, see this area here is disappearing. Like all my little fine drawing work is disappearing. So you've got to find this kind of happy adjustment between it all. But if that doesn't work, the other option is to go in here and go to a thing called curves. Now there's all sorts of ways you can use curve, but the most basic way is leave it on RGB, because you can actually just affect the blue, the green, and the red. But for drawing, just leave it on RGB. And the first thing you do is just try pulling from the center. That way. Back that way. Now, curves is all about minor adjustments. So you can do that. And then just hit cancel, because there's another one I want you to do. The other one I want you to do to try is what I call the S. So if I pull an S from that corner, and then where this line was on that grid, pull an S back that way. See if that works. Now pick it up again, try it the other way. Every drawing is going to be different. Every drawing is going to have, because of the medium it's drawn in, if it's pale, if it's dark, they're all going to be different. Okay, so I've decided that a forward S like that, a very slight, what we call curve, that's why they're called curves, is going to work. And now, after I've done the curves, I'm then going to do brightness and contrast again. I'm just going to lift it up, the brightness up. I'm going to lift the contrast. I haven't lost any of that detail. Probably got. Probably about, that's about right. Yep, like that. It's exaggerating the where my ink is overlapped, but that's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. Now hit save as, not save. Hit save as. Why? Because we don't want to destroy the original. So make sure it's a JPEG. Now you got JPEG 2000 and JPEG stereo. We don't want those. We just want JPEG, and call it. Give it a name, drawing photo fixed, save. Now you can adjust this up and down, about 1 meg. You want to keep it in the maximum range here, because you can make it low. Keep it in the maximum, but keep this size here at about 1.2 meg. If you can't see that, you've got to hit preview. If you can't get it down to about a meg, on somewhere between 10 and 12, you need to go back into here and change your size again down to a smaller size, okay? And then go back into your Jamboard. Now, I've decided that this was just a progress drawing at the time. One looks better than the other. Mind you, all this sort of drawing in here looks really good, and it's sort of a little bit lost now in this one. Fiddle about with your curves and things like that until you get it right. But that's a much better result. So this is my finished drawing. Watch your focus too when you take a photo. I took this one pretty quick. So, and then I'll just put a sticky note on there. Now I'm going to make it no background. I don't want yellow. I want no background. I'm going to write finished drawing. Done. And there it is. And I'm going to bring that in on top. Job done. And there it is. Okay. So any questions, chuck them in the feed. I'm probably going to put this up on my YouTube channel so you can ask me a question at the bottom of the YouTube clip as well.